Hello and welcome back to the Double Dribble podcast with episode 14 with Jacob and Ray.
Yes, welcome back. It's another one where not much is happening.
Yeah.
Although, something actually did happen. It involves the number 2 pick, could have very well been the number 1 pick, Chet Holmgren. He has a Lis Frank.
I think that's how it's pronounced, Lis Frank.
Yeah, it's an ankle injury, right?
Low ankle, foot thing, somewhere around there.
Yeah, and obviously he did it in that Pro-Am game against LeBron. It was actually not bad defense at the end of the day.
No, he forced the miss, but again, I'm not saying that he shouldn't have been playing. Just that's kind of unnecessary defense.
Yeah.
One-on-one against LeBron, who's 60 pounds heavier than you and just going to truck through you.
Trying to prove a point, obviously, to the biggest role model in the game. So, he was trying to prove a point, he was trying to show he was up to it, and his body wasn't.
Yeah.
So, it proves so much about his injuries and his frame.
Yeah.
It proves other things like Victor Wembanyama. You never know. After this, is it maybe the actual value of these guys has gone down, and we've seen it dramatically. I think it was Jaren Jackson Jr., who's a 7-footer, has played 200 games in 5 seasons in the league.
Yeah.
Marvin Bagley has played God knows what. It's barely any, right? In 4 seasons in the league, right? So the value of these lanky 7-footers has gone down. At this point, I personally prefer a 6'10" big guy at my centre position, or an AD who's not injury prone.
Yeah.
Over these 7-footers, because they just, the chance of them getting injured is gone so far, has gone up. And even in Michael Jordan's days, right? They don't have that long careers, and they just get shortened too easy, I reckon.
So because he's out for the season, that means it's pretty severe and he'll be having surgery on it.
So it could affect his career, right?
Yeah. But again, it could not mean too much. Ben Simmons missed his first season, Blake Griffin missed his first season.
Yeah.
Didn't Joel Embiid miss his first 2?
I don't know.
A heap of players have missed their first season or 2.
Yeah, it's not, we've seen it before. Players get injured and then you don't really see them at their peak.
Yeah.
Peak of their power again.
In the end, looking back at his career when we're finished, this could be a sort of blessing for him if I think this goes well enough. Because when this happens and I saw that he was out for the season, I thought it could end up working okay, that if he bulks a bit more over this season. Because imagine if he was doing this in the NBA. That could be a very, very severe injury. So now he goes out, bulks up, not severely probably, but into a point where he's up there, and then now his body's fully NBA ready. And then
come out and have his actual rookie season.
Yeah, from just blank canvas, and then go from there.
Yeah, he can start from scratch. First, maybe if this happened during the NBA season, first couple of weeks.
Yeah.
People get a view of what he can do.
Yeah.
Right? So then the doubters come in of a whole bunch of different things. Because, we might see that something no one expected. All of a sudden, Chet can't shoot.
Yeah.
Or all of a sudden, he can't finish around the rim. Right? We've seen it happen before. And that could happen. Versus if you give him a season, no doubters, just people, you just kind of, in a way, forget about him.
Yeah.
For a season. And he'd go away and work like he gets a whole other season on these guys, although obviously they're playing.
Yeah. But then his body... Yeah, because this could have been...
Ignoring the rehab and all that.
This could have been a lot more severe if it was in the NBA, and he'll also have next off-season then to re-get...
You saw the way it happened, the way it landed.
Yeah.
All that. Like, you saw it. Like, it's happened before, and it's not entirely to do with his frame.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this injury can happen to anyone.
That's also what I hate a lot about sports. Like, this could happen to anyone and end up derailing their career.
Yeah.
Like, just a fluke twist of your ankle or your knee, like in Derek Rose's case.
And we saw with, like, Steph Curry at the start of his career, right?
A few rolls and...
Yeah, he rolled his ankle a couple of times and he lost, what was it? His first 5 seasons in the league?
Yeah.
I think he made an All-NBA team once in there.
But at the end of those 5.
Yeah, I know. And then after that, see where he is now.
Yeah, because then, like...
And that's very well what could happen to, like, Chet. Like, you never know. Like, obviously Chet might come back next year and be roaring. But he might come back next year and hurt his ankle again.
Yeah, because that's, like, the Derek Rose thing. Like, somebody so talented... And then, bang, just one fluke injury, and it's done.
Yeah, like it's over. So there's so many avenues Chet could take. But in terms of his team, the Thunder, they should be back in the middle to high lottery.
Yeah.
Going for Wembanyama.
Instead of probably almost being in the probably late to just out of the play-in tournament.
I would say they would have, with Chet, 11th, 12th, possibly even 10th. Seed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And
like,
I feel like this team is coming along a lot quicker.
Yeah, I know.
Because imagine if he was still, if Chet never got injured, then you go in, they could make the 10th seed and possibly make the playoffs. And they're already a playoff team.
I wouldn't be surprised, because especially with this team, like, Shea could just go off for 40 and then they've made it through the first game.
In, like, what year?
What? Well, are you speaking from since Westbrook left?
Of the rebuild, like when they traded.
Yeah. So I'd say when Westbrook left, that would have been like 2019.
So what, year 3 of the rebuild?
Yeah, something like that. 3, 2, like they got Shea when Westbrook and George were still playing.
And then they had that 1 year with Shea and Chris Paul.
Yeah.
Where they made the playoffs.
That was when they traded Westbrook to the Rockets for Paul.
Yeah. Did they trade?
Deal.
And then they traded Paul George and Chris Paul for all the picks.
Yeah. So it would have been...
Year 3 this is, I think.
Yeah. So pretty much. Shea's been in and about it, in and around it the whole time. But it's been, they've all been there.
I've heard a lot of...
His second year, this is Chet's first year, Trey Mann's first year. You've got older guys, but aren't that old. Like, I think Williams is turning 27.
Yeah, some older young players.
Yeah.
But I've seen in a lot of other content where people have said how how lottery odds have been lowered for the worser teams. So now the top worst 3 teams have 14% chance each to get the first pick.
Mm-hmm.
So tanking's been less incentivized. And they've said that's a negative for the Thunder. But in my eyes, it's a positive. Because they're going to be... Yeah, they weren't going to be...
Obviously, their chances of getting the number 1 pick is pretty slim.
Yeah.
So they're probably not going to be 3 or below the worst in the league.
But
You've got Orlando, Houston, Sacramento might be bad. You've got, Indiana might be bad. Utah, San Antonio. These are all teams who probably will be worse than them.
That's why I think it's a positive. because you've got teams that are fully bottomed out, like San Antonio and Utah.
Yeah.
But then that's where that affects them as a negative. But with OKC being probably going to be like a 5th, 6th worst team, that gives them a higher chance of jumping. And then even if they don't get Victor, then they could get Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, if you get the 3rd pick, and if I'm being honest, I think it's Wembanyama and Scoot Henderson in this.
Yeah.
But whoever they get with the 3rd or 4th pick, they can ship them off with a world of picks. You can throw in these other role players, right?
Yeah, that's also another thing I've seen. Like, if they ended up with, say, the 2nd pick, they could throw the whole field of picks at who, like, 2nd pick and the whole farm of picks at whoever has first, and just see if they accept.
Yeah, and I was thinking about this. Like, let's say they do. This can be their starting lineup. Shea, who's like 6'7".
Yeah, Giddy, who's like...
Giddy, who's like 6'7". Poku, who's 7 foot. Chet, who's 7'1".
Yeah.
And Wembanyama, who's 7'3".
And growing, I think. He could be 7'4".
You don't... With that team, you don't get as low as 6'7". And you don't... Or maybe Giddy 6'6". You don't... I don't know.
But it's probably more likely to be like Lou Dort, who's like, what, 6'5", though, still?
Yeah, no, yeah, definitely.
But still, that would be a very likely lineup with Lou Dort.
Yeah, like, you'd play it. Like,
And Lou...
I would watch that lineup for days, just because nobody's scoring.
With Lou Dort being the really good defender, even though he's shorter, that still has switchability. The switchability would be insane.
It's just... I don't know. That team, and then you've also got everyone's offense, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you saw Dort's defense to offense. It's still sitting in my mind, that game against Sacramento, where it was 103 to 103. It was Dort guarding Fox, and Dort just fully stripped Fox at the 3-point line, ran the floor, and then laid it up with someone right up in his face. Like, easily could have blown the layup, and nobody would have been like, whoa, because he was in his face, right? So you've got that defense to offense kind of guy.
Yeah, because also I think...
Player,
I think, for example, even if they don't get Wembanyama, this team would be such a good transition team.
Yeah.
With Chet, a big 7'1" guy who can run the floor. And then imagine you get Wembanyama as well, who's like one of the best in Europe, rim or just floor running centers.
Yeah, you see those clips of him just
and
turning into superhuman, just.
And it seemed like he gets these looks where he's running down because he's so good at running the floor. Like all these clips, he's just running into a 1-on-1 or 2-on-1.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah, no, because he's so good at running the floor. And then he just gets a dunk.
The other thing that, like, this team could do real well is, for starters, he's probably going to be one of the best passers in the league.
Yeah.
At the peak of his powers. You know, Shea's obviously a point guard. He can pass the ball.
And then you've got Chet, who's like...
and these guys, like, if Shea and Giddy's running the court, imagine just the drop-off passes, you know?
And pick and roll lobs.
Yeah, like, it's just... It'll be really hard, and, you know, we're speculating Wembanyama's going to OKC, which is little to no chance, really.
Yeah.
But
also,
there's nothing saying we can't fantasize about, a god team.
This is why, as a Thunder fan, which I am, I was really hoping...
Bandwagoner.
I was hoping Chet ended up on the Thunder, because then this was the sort of things you get with the endless amount of talent, 7'1" with like a 7'6" wingspan.
Yeah, I mean, can't.
Also, with this injury, I've also seen this said a lot. The effect on Shea, because he's been with these few years of tanking. Then you're about to get in. Then Chet gets injured.
I think he was hoping this year would be.
Yeah, contending.
This is Shea's year. This is Shea's All-Star year.
And then also, like, a couple years he's been shut down a bit early because they're going for the high lottery. Maybe you get a slight injury or just shut him down with, like, 20 games left.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this could also affect Giddy.
I don't think as much.
Not as much, but just the guards.
Yeah.
Not like for Shea is that he's you're not in the NBA to tank, right?
Yeah.
He's in the NBA to win. He's a winning player.
Yeah.
Right?
I also think this would hurt the team as a young team because they're young. They're all.
Yeah. They're kind of relying on each other. There's not little to no veterans on this team, right?
Yeah.
So, just having one of them roll out. But I think for Shea, it's just like...
Yeah.
Particularly with him, because he's been there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, he was there when they were good, I guess, with Westbrook and George. He's kind of been there. I remember watching him in, 2018, saying, it was, his first year. And I was, 2019, maybe. And he was... And I was like... This guy could be something, right? And obviously...
Yeah.
He's good, but he's not like Giddy's. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right? So he doesn't have any guy to resort to for assists. He has to get the rebounds. Giddy's good, but I think that's also why Giddy would benefit. Is going to Giddy, because he's a guy that we've seen can lay passes off in the pick and roll.
Yeah.
Yes, a great pick and roll guy.
But also, I think this is kind of way blown up. Because, surely... I mean, I don't know how NBA players think or see things. But sure you see that, after this season, you're going to get Chet back, probably. All the young players. Sure you just stick it out through this season. I mean, maybe, I don't know.
It's going to be another drama.
Yeah. This will, though, open up minutes and opportunity for some frontcourt players such as Jeremy Robinson-Earl, rookies Usmani Deng and Jalen Williams. However, I don't know.
Jeremiah. Or, if you can't get it right, JRE.
I don't care.
That's embarrassing.
I've heard so many over the, things I've seen, bro. So many different...
Jeremy. I just heard the commentators say Jeremiah, so I was like, we'll roll with that.
Yeah, so it'll open up a lot of opportunity for other young frontcourt players.
As we mentioned before, Jalen Williams. All these kind of guys who are just... They're role players, and they get an opportunity, and to up their trade value, just agency value.
Yeah, just overall value.
All-around value for other teams as this team continues to rack up with good young players.
Yeah.
But players like JRE, they could turn into a very, very solid role player, I think. Because he's still young. He was in a draft class from only a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
But he could... Powerful.
But also the problem with having all these young players, really good young players and all these picks, is it the salary issues in a few years?
Yeah, they'll have to dump some off.
They're going to be...
they've got a big three, right?
Yeah.
If I'm the Thunder, I'm not mad if I don't get Victor Wembanyama. because they've got a very good big three.
And also,
obviously Shea's nearly, well, not in his prime, but Shea's nearly at his peak kind of thing. I'm not saying he won't get better, but like he's not going to improve drastically next season. And
also, like, then you've, on top of the big three, you've also got, like, Lou Dort, who they just extended for, like, 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, there's Trey Mann, all these guys who...
I feel like that Lou Dort has his value as, like, a $10 million contract guy. I think he's going to be sort of, like, the Draymond sort of thing.
I don't think he's as, like, loud.
No, I mean that sort of...
like, passionate.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Like, defensive leader, mostly leader, like, dirty work sort of player.
Yeah. And then in terms of, like, the actual league, it's just pretty much for the other guys in contention for Rookie of the Year. Well, obviously anyone could be in contention, but, like, Chet was obviously a favourite coming in, I guess.
Could open up Keegan Murray.
Like, yeah, you could open up Keegan Murray, you know, Banchero after Summer League.
It also...
fully expect to be a contender in that.
It also hurts the, like... Some of those games, like Magic v Thunder, that aren't really important, but were, like, 1v2 picks versing, and now just, like, dead.
Like, those kind of rivalries. Last year when, like, weirdly I would tune in to, like, Pistons, Rockets.
Yeah.
Just to compare the pair, see how they match up against each other. Versus this year we're not going to get that. I mean, obviously, the thing with his draft class is that Jabari could have gone first and I wouldn't have been shocked.
Yeah. Well, that's what most people thought was going to happen.
Exactly. So, Chet could have gone third and I wouldn't have been shocked. So, I don't think that's going to be too influential because it'll just be Magic versus Rockets, right?
Yeah.
And then we've mentioned that Thunder are not in contention for the play-in, which obviously means, well, they could be. Like, Giddy could have a big year, but they're not expected to make the play-in.
No. Yeah.
So, now with news. So, not much has happened apart from, like, Chet and the Lakers with LeBron, but it's not, we're covering that later, but in terms of news, the main thing we're going to talk about is the schedule is out. The calendar is with us, and so I guess we'll just go in chronological order, starting with opening night. So we've got opening night, Christmas Day, and Rivals Week, just as the main ones. There's obviously the games leading up to the playoffs, but also, those are the games that are really interesting.
But also, we're not that nerdy to figure out all the Nuggets have the easiest schedule and stuff. Yeah, we're not that good.
We're just gonna roll with it. Obviously, we trust everyone's got 41 home games and 41 away games. Opening night, Sixers at Celtics. I think that's a great choice.
That's just been like the rivalry over the last since the Markel Tatum thing, really.
Yeah. Pretty much. Obviously they faced each other a couple of times in the playoffs. Celtics coming out on top majority of the time, I'd say. And then the other one, Lakers at Warriors, we saw these the start of this last season, That was a good one. Warriors took it, and I think that this Steph LeBron, obviously Steph gets his fourth ring in front of LeBron.
And I think the league still has to really, but the league is, of course, still going to buy into the Lakers on the big games.
Yeah,
because of their popularity.
No matter what happens to the Lakers, they'll always have the big name games. I like those opening night choices.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the Lakers had been one of them. If I'm being me personally, why not just kick it off with Lakers Celtics?
Yeah.
Why not?
I feel like on opening night you have to have the Warriors. You have to have the Lakers.
Warriors and the Lakers.
I feel like you should have the Celtics.
Yeah.
Because they're runners up in the finals, and they're also a big name team.
I think for me, it's almost a rule. You have the two teams that were in the finals,
And the
at
Lakers.
least they don't have to be playing against each other. That would be cool, but they don't have to be playing against each other.
Yeah.
They just have to be playing, right? And that's what we've got here, which is good. But then I think the Lakers could have been interchangeable between the Celtics and the Warriors.
Yeah.
I think I would have loved both. Either way, Steph getting his ring in front of LeBron, or LeBron the Lakers versus Celtics, right?
Yeah.
But then, in terms of Sixers,
That's just kind of interchangeable.
just kind of another one in there. I think for the Sixers, it could have really been most other teams. I mean, obviously there's that rivalry, but the rivalries aren't as big these days. So
Yeah.
I'm not crazy about that, but I do like Lakers at Warriors.
Yeah.
I do like. I don't mind this opening night, but Christmas Day.
5 games.
But
5 games. Yeah, we've got. So.
I just got so I couldn't hear. So 24th. Oh wait, I'm looking at Rivals Week. Christmas Day. Knicks. Sixers at Knicks. So I've got the Sixers again in Madison Square, which I like.
Yeah. I think you should have a game at Madison Square,
Yeah.
unless the Knicks are absolutely terrible.
New York's Christmas is a big thing in America, right?
Yeah. I
In
think.
fact, I'll be there. So but then I like how they've got New York's Christmas in there.
Yeah.
And I just think the Sixers are another team that the Sixers you just play against anyone and it's just
Yeah, because they're a good team that's pretty popular.
yeah. So and then there's Lakers in Dallas.
Yeah.
LeBron versus Luka, Christmas Day in Dallas. For me, if I'm being honest, there might be an event on, that might be the reason, but
Yeah.
I think it should be Mavericks at Lakers.
Yeah.
I think a game in LA is just. I think that there might be a whole event on.
Yeah.
What's it called now?
Crypto.com.
Crypto. I like Staples.
Yeah.
Crypto.com.
Also, I'll just say it now. I tried last year. I'll probably try again this year. In Australia, Boxing Day morning, waking up at 1 in the morning, trying to watch as many games as I possibly can.
How many did you get last year?
2. I watched the Nets versus somebody, and I think I watched the Lakers.
Well, I'll do it with you. That'd be rough.
Fun though.
I'm not here for Boxing Day. There's Bucks at Celtics.
A couple of the rivalries here that are going to be in Rivals Week.
Which I think is necessary.
Yeah, because,
Bucks at Celtics, Giannis Tatum, it's all.
knocked them out.
Obviously went to Game 7 in TD Garden. Jeez, my bad. In TD Garden. But this one is also TD Garden, and I think it'll just. Their goal is a rematch of Game 7, right?
Yeah.
Except this time, hopefully, Chris Middleton's there. And there's a fully healthy Bucks at Celtics.
Yep, next is the Memphis Grizzlies at Golden State. So, yeah, again, second round series. Went deep to 6. Java Steph, which should be probably at that point up there in MVP race.
So, something could happen. It could be
Yeah.
Clay versus Desmond Bain. We don't know.
But that, hopefully, without injuries, should be up there in MVP race. And then final game is Suns in Denver. Again, I feel like it's Phoenix should be playing, and I reckon the NBA might be sort of buying in on Denver because
I don't know why not.
yeah, because Jokic. Then you should have Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr. to go along there. I just think why not?
Yeah, it's another one of those games. Just, why not? You know, give. It's at Denver. That's surprising to me.
But then it's also hard with. I find it amazing how the NBA gets all spawning codes where they have the next day, the day before, the 3 days before that, this team's playing here, then they need a flight there, so then this happens, and then this, then, you know.
Yeah, I mean, the amount of behind the scenes work, I guess.
So,
but,
yeah.
Like, you know, obviously it's the work into it, as you just said, but like...
Because, like, before that, for example, Denver might have a back-to-back at home, so then... Or they might have a game at home after this, so then it's just easier for them to, instead of...
Yeah.
But we don't know.
That's Christmas. Again, I wish it was Nuggets at Phoenix, but we can't have everything, I guess. And then Rivals Week. This will be an interesting one.
I like the...
I will say most of them are just playoff.
Yeah, from last year.
Like Boston at Miami went to Game 7. One shot by Jimmy Butler.
But again, like, I think that's the right thing to do, because there's not that many rivalries that are, like, really there, like...
I wish it was brought back, but just...
I really... Oh, you go.
With the softness.
Yeah.
Like, I hate to say it, but with the softness of the NBA today, it's like... There's not as much rivalry.
Rivalry is just kind of a word that goes over the game.
Yeah, right.
Like Celtics-Lakers...
It used to be a big thing.
Celtics-Lakers, they just play and it's a rivalry.
Yeah. But like Celtics-Lakers, you know,
like,
Larry Bird, Magic Johnson would have been...
the rivalry was the Bird Magic, and then back with, like, West and those guys versus Bill Russell.
And then you got, like...
And then now it's just... And Kobe
and
versus...
Garnett versus Kobe.
Yeah.
You got that. But now it's... Like, it's still there. Like, you've still got great players there. But just the pure heat in it is just not there. So, Clippers at Lakers.
I love the idea of this, though. Just have a week to... I love how it's, like...
Also,
have a week...
Got, like, the crosstown rivals. Like,
have a...
Knicks at Nets.
Like, Lakers, Clippers.
Yeah, you got... Like,
I don't know America, so...
No, not the one. Chicago might be... I'm going to stop talking, because I don't know.
There's probably some, like, Texas teams or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I love the idea to just bring the rivalries out.
Yeah, and then, you know, the stadiums would be absolutely chockers.
Yeah.
Because obviously...
Because these are, like...
Madison Square, you can still have bucket loads of Brooklyn fans, right?
Yeah, because, like, these are the games that, like, fans pack out for, even if they're not, like, the most important. They're, like...
Yeah, right, because the Knicks will probably be garbage.
Yeah, it's Nets, like... But...
Well...
But...
This could be a future episode. The Nets
yeah.
might have been resurrected. KD might be in it for one more year. Kyrie might be in it for one more year.
But, like, for example, Nets 76ers, that's a game that heaps of people might turn out to for that. James Harden, Ben Simmons sort of trade, the heat between them.
Yeah.
All that stuff. But to the games, we want to get to them. So you said Boston at Miami, Clippers at Lakers. Then you've got Nets 76ers with the, as I just said, James Harden trade.
Week. So January 24th are those two games.
Yep.
And then 25th is Nets at 76ers. We'll see this one, and we'll see it again.
But hopefully this time...
Memphis at Golden State again.
Yep.
Those are the two games on the 25th. 26th is Chicago at Charlotte. which I think is...
I think that's Jordan.
Oh, no, Lonzo LaMelo.
Oh, we're so stupid.
Yeah, so...
I'm sorry. Yeah, Lonzo LaMelo also just happens to be Jordan. I don't know if that was like...
Jordan versus Jordan, who's still going to go with Jordan too many times. Mavericks at Suns? Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm tuned into that one.
No, nothing more to be said.
Yeah.
January 27th.
This is a game that...
Grizz...
the Warriors have a lot of big games. Which is fair enough. But whatever.
Yeah, Raptors Warriors. Which is, finals rematch from 2019.
Yeah, and, a revamped Warriors with I guess in the process of revamping Toronto. Well...
Yeah, I don't know. Again, possibly something for some...
Because the core without Kawhi is still there.
Yeah.
Except, I
Kind of, not really, I don't know.
Process. I don't care.
Toronto is just kind of a team that's kind of forgotten about. They're just there, but not there.
Yeah, they were 16th. They weren't bad last year. Right? I mean, this year I expected the Brock to drop. Actually, maybe not, because Scotty's doing better. No, I expect them to drop to the play-in.
And, back on January 27th, we've got Grizzlies at Timberwolves. So, that first round series.
So, I'm just going to go out and say it. Jar versus Edwards.
But then you've also got Rudy.
Raptors at Warriors, touched on that. And then the 28th, Lakers at Celtics, it had to come at some point, right?
Nuggets 76ers, that's Jokic, last two MVPs. Embiid, last two runner-ups.
In fact, I've just noticed something. The Bucks don't have a game in Rivals Week.
They do not.
No. They're a team I would have very well expected to have. Boston. I mean, you've got them, Boston.
Yeah.
And
You kind of chose between Miami and...
Christmas.
You kind of chose between Miami and the Bucks.
Yeah, I'd probably give it... No, but you got Bucks, Celtics, Christmas.
Yeah, they don't... Miami, out of these games, don't really have any of the, Christmas or stuff.
Yeah. And then Knicks at Nets, which we already talked about.
Yeah, was gonna come.
Yeah. So... Yeah.
And now the next segment will be about what is happening at the Los Angeles Lakers. Something is going very wrong over there. Just...
Yeah, I know, I just think they're intentionally trying to kick Westbrook out, to be honest. I mean, they signed Pat Bev, brought in Pat Bev. Of all the people
Yeah,
into this team, of all people, I would at least expect...
Yeah, because, especially with their, how their team's constructed, they don't...
This is a sign that they're not interested in keeping Russ, right?
Yeah.
They brought in this new coach for totally different reasons other than trying to keep Russ, right?
Yeah.
I saw this thing, and I'm just going to jump straight to trade packages for Russ Westbrook. And everyone's been talking about it, but I'm just jumping straight with packages, right? I saw a 4-way deal involving the Knicks, Lakers, Pacers, and Utah.
Aren't
And
they...
involved Donovan going to New York, the Lakers getting Buddy Hield and Miles Turner.
Yeah, I think I saw that.
Pacers getting... the Pacers getting, Westbrook and,
A pick.
Some other guy. Or a pick. And then Utah just getting a bunch of crap from other...
And some picks, probably.
Yeah, and there was even, rumours of, Julius Randle getting thrown in there. If the Lakers play
It's
their
crazy.
Your starting lineup could be Buddy Hield, or no, maybe not Buddy Hield.
And even the way LeBron's. I think he said it like a while ago, like not that, like a couple weeks ago, that he wants like or would like Rondo back on the team. Just like that intention to like fill the guard spots even more.
Yeah, I know. I think maybe LeBron wants to play the forward role. I don't know. So
but
this is not worth it though. Like Taylor Horton-Tucker is a good scorer, right?
Sort of unproven so far, hasn't.
Yeah. I'm not saying he's like a good role player yet, but he has value.
But
in that,
also Stanley Johnson though, I liked how he played last year.
And I just think those two players combined are better than an aging Patrick Beverley.
Yeah,
no matter how much heart and soul Pat Bev brings, and I get that's exactly what the Lakers need, right?
Yeah, that guy that'll will you to wins.
Yeah,
when you shouldn't.
Like, you saw like how much he just cared about a playing game.
Yes.
Right. And I think Stanley Johnson was good. I just don't think I think there's a whole different intention to it with this trade. Because Pat Bev's a winning player, right? I don't think it's a coincidence that every team Pat Bev's been on is a winning team, right?
Yeah. He's a winning player, but also there's more to it. Like.
Yeah, and like you've seen, he's been a good 3-point shooter, right?
Yeah.
He's shot from 37 to 40 in the past 9 seasons in the league. And I think last season he shot like 70% from corner threes. On low volume, obviously.
Yeah. But still, like.
He's an underrated 3-point shooter. He's an on par. Well, yeah, scratch that. He's a great defensive player.
Yeah, he's and he's that guy that gets under the opponent's. I was gonna say guard, but doesn't even have to be guard. Skin.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you can almost throw at somebody and try get them ejected with him. Like, just get them going at each other and then bang 2 techs on that guy and he's out.
Like, I know we say a lot, but like a guard version of Draymond. And I think even more so with Marcus Smart. I think he's more of a guard Draymond Green than Marcus Smart is.
Yeah, agree.
I just think the passion, the pure passion with Pat Bev, and the pure, like, I don't know, loudness of his game.
He's like all out there and going.
Yeah, I know, like, Smart, don't get me wrong, very passionate player, but I just think Pat Bev and Draymond Green is on another level for passion than Marcus Smart is. And I think that's exactly what maybe the doctor ordered with Pat Bev for the Lakers. But what they gave up, I think, is a bit overvalued.
Because Stanley Johnson played his role really well, and Taylor Horton-Tucker could end up being something of a lot of value.
Yeah, and the other side is...
But also
this is a great deal for them.
I think that's what the Jazz want, those sort of unproven players for not a lot.
Yeah.
Like, they'll take a couple unproven guys for an aging player that they don't need. So then maybe one of them turns into something and then bang.
Yeah. So, Beverly mentioned it. Beverly and Westbrook, they have beef. And we've said they could be trying to force Westbrook out in a way. Just make him want to leave rather than just getting rid of him.
Yeah. Because then also, part of it could end up being like, if you make Westbrook want to leave, then he ends up looking like the bad guy in this whole situation. Because think about it.
Bad guy the whole time when you think about it.
No, but like, if for the Lakers front office, for their reputation, if it looks like they tried to force Westbrook out, then they look bad and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I get where you're going.
On the other hand, if Westbrook looks like the bad guy, then they're just kind of, oh, they got Westbrook, then he played really bad, then he just wanted to leave.
Yeah. But obviously, it'll be hard for that to happen because the Lakers talking about this right now. They could be trying to force Westbrook out. But I don't think that's a bad move by them.
No.
And I just think, like, it kind of matches up with the timeline in a way. Pat Bev is a winning player. He's shown that he's a winning player, which means that he's, like, it's a win-now move, right?
Yeah.
So if it's a win-now move, they're trying to win, and they just don't, I agree with it. Westbrook is not going to help them win.
I think that's what LeBron has done this with a lot of the teams he's played for. He signs the shorter contracts and extensions, so then the front office knows they need to make moves while they still have him. Because they know well and truly he has a high chance of leaving, and with all his contracts, he has a high chance of leaving when this 2-year, $97 million contract, which we'll talk a bit more about later, is up. Then all of a sudden he could be leaving. So you got to make him happy and try win now.
Yeah, and so this also clogs up the guard spot because you've got Pat Bev, you might be looking at Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
LeBron plays guard minutes. You've got other players
like Austin Reeves.
Yeah, Austin Reeves. I just couldn't come up with them.
Yeah, there's just.
There's a lot of players. Like, who's their starting point guard for you? Or even shooting guard as well. Because small forward
Curry?
Is set. Who's their center? Let's just fill out this roster.
AD kind of played center, which.
Yeah, but then who's their four?
LeBron was playing 4, and then AD was playing 5.
Alright, then who's their 3? Exactly. Like,
they had like a revolving.
They kind of be mixing and matching. I think Darwin will come up with some interesting things. They obviously signed players like Wanda Sky Anderson to play solid minutes.
But that's also what happens when something like this backfires. You give up a lot of your depth for somebody who doesn't end up panning out.
Yeah.
Then all of a sudden, bang, you.
I just think the Lakers, they've got themselves in a position where they've looked at it from the perspective of LeBron and AD. We've got at their best, they can be 2 of the top 5 players in this league. They've looked at it from that perspective, and they're like, if you have 2 of the top 5 players in the league, obviously AD might not end up being that. LeBron might next year, might be less of this year, but at their peak, they have been that.
Yeah.
And so if you look at it from that perspective, right, there's no reason not to go for it.
I just think they've done it the wrong way by getting another on-ball star and giving up their depth.
No. I meant after that.
Yeah. I know what you mean. But, like, I think overall, if you have that, you should be targeting depth instead of another star.
I think they made the wrong move.
Yeah.
Taking Westbrook instead of Hield and Miles Turner, right? Oh, wait. No. I've gone too far.
Instead of
yeah.
Kuzma, Contavious Caldwell-Pope,
Alex Caruso.
Yeah.
Actually, Caruso walked, didn't he?
Caruso walked because they couldn't give him the money because they got Westbrook.
Yeah, okay. So, Caruso counts in that whole thing.
Yeah, because then that was a result of that. Yeah, so you gave up 3 could start players.
Yeah.
For an on-ball star that doesn't really fit and doesn't really play defense.
Yeah, you've got 3 starters. Like, Kuzma was a starter for most of the time with the Wizards.
Yep.
Caldwell-Pope was probably their 3rd best player in that championship, 2020 championship.
Yeah.
Right? And then Alex Caruso has turned into an absolute demon with the Bulls, right? Obviously, the undisputed GOAT. And, on offense and defense. All that.
I just think now that this in the Nets is gonna be the final turning point of this, and then it'll be more.
I mean, I'm not counting on the Nets. I'm pretty much counting on the Lakers. Like, LeBron's committed 2 years, $97 million contract, so it's $50 million a year, right? $48 million a year. But so that's a lot of money. And
Yeah.
Which means 2 years,
Yep.
Use next year's off season to just keep improving, and then use that last year of LeBron's deal to really go for it, because that's really your last year, right?
Yeah, because I think next off season is they're gonna go all out for those role players.
Although preferably not all out for like your Russell Westbrook type.
No, when I say that, I mean in free agency. Like they're gonna try target like 2 or 3 sort of like mid-level mid-level exception role players.
And that's where Buddy Hield and Miles Turner comes in, because Buddy Hield's like a good player. It's nothing
Yeah,
great.
those sort of players.
It falls into the shooting part. But I think if they get those two and just maybe get 1 or 2 more solid bench players, I think they're a championship contender.
And that's what I mean. So this season will then be like get chemistry, get everything back together, and then next off season will be fill out your rotation with players that fit and that help the chemistry, and then contend for a title.
Yeah.
But I mean, we probably should make a video about when this off season, after this is done, with the Bronny eligible for the draft, all that stuff.
So I think for LeBron at least, when Bronny's eligible for draft, LeBron's just gonna be like, do it, because I want to play with you.
Yeah, and he'll be drafted because of that.
Yeah, right. And so, like Bronny, if LeBron's still playing well at that stage, which we won't know, we don't know if that will happen. But if LeBron's still playing well, then Bronny could be taking like the second pick, because then you just get a package of LeBron with it, right?
Maybe not that high, but like
No, not that high, but like he could be taking
like
a top 10 pick. If he's maybe by then he's like a top 10 player, but
yeah.
So,
Because like imagine if he's like a sort of second round, sort of seen as second round talent, and the Warriors are like pushing for a last run, and they have like the 27th pick. Why not take a flyer?
yeah, I know, you might as well just take Bronny and then you just get LeBron.
Because LeBron, I think I remember LeBron said that he'll do whatever to get there. So like he'll take a minimum if he needs to get.
Yeah, right. So, I mean, you might as well. There's no reason not to. Just wing it and get Bronny and just get LeBron as well.
That might be a future video though. You never know.
Yeah, no. Otherwise, that's pretty much it. So we've gone through Chet, how that involves Thunder in the league, the schedule, one of the most, I guess, one of the most important things, right? Because how the season's going to play out. And then the Lakers, because they're just kind of they're not in full code red.
Yeah, but it's
like,
pretty close.
They're in. Go to your station. Go to your battle stations and be ready.
Yeah.
That's where they are for me. And then other teams like maybe the Nets might be a bit code red. But until next time, I guess.
Yeah.